My dearly beloved, with all the love of heaven, I welcome you with a heart full of compassion and urgency. Listen closely, not with your ears, but with your soul. You who have walked through fire, you who have cried silent tears in the darkness where no one else could see, you who were crushed, betrayed, forgotten, but somehow you still stood up. Oh, how precious you are in the eyes of the Almighty. You were never forsaken. You were never abandoned. Every scar you carry, every wound, every broken piece, it was seen. It was counted. It was never in vain. There comes a moment, a sacred turning point, where heaven whispers, now is the time. And beloved, that moment is today, June 22, 2020, 2025. This is the appointed hour. This is the final step before the crown of glory rests upon your life. You may feel unworthy, you may feel tired, but the one who formed you in the secret place calls you chosen, not because of your strength, but because of your surrender, not because of perfection, but because of your endurance. Today, chains will break. Today, old chapters close and divine pages turn. Today, heaven declares, arise, for your shine begins now. Let every distraction fall away. Let every voice of fear be silenced. For now, your spirit will be ignited like never before. This is your season. This is your commission. This is your final step into purpose, into calling, into destiny. Prepare your heart. The heavens are about to move, and the earth will never be the same because you chose to believe. Now, walk with me. Let us step into the glory that was always yours. You were not chosen in moments of ease. You were chosen in the furnace, in the quiet agony of your own wilderness. Not when you were smiling and applauded, but when you were crying and unseen. The fire you walked through was never to destroy you. It was to reveal you. It was to reveal you. When everyone turned away, heaven leaned in. When your strength failed, it wasn't weakness. It was divine alignment. Because the God who created the stars and set galaxies in motion does not search for polished vessels, but willing hearts that have been humbled in the valley. You weren't chosen because you had everything together. You were chosen because despite everything falling apart, you never fully let go of your hope. That fragile thread you clung to in the midnight hour, that whisper of faith in a storm of silence, that was seen, that was precious. You see, gold is not proven in the light. It is tested in fire. Diamonds are not formed in sunshine. They are born under pressure. And so were you. You were formed in trial, in rejection, in the quiet ache of loneliness where no one else could follow. But even there, he was watching. He was shaping. He was choosing. Heaven never looked for titles, for positions, for applause. It looked for hearts that broke and still chose love. It looked for eyes filled with tears, yet still lifted upward. And yours, your heart was chosen. Not when you stood strong, but when you fell and still reached for him. It was in your weakest moments that you became your most powerful. Because what you endured did not make you bitter. It made you deeper, more compassionate, more obedient. It made you see the pain of others because you've carried your own. There are many who shine when the sun is out, but only the chosen ones can glow in the dark. You were one of them. You didn't just survive, you surrendered. And that surrender became sacred. In a world that celebrates masks and performance, you offered something rare. You offered authentic pain, authentic tears, authentic worship. And because of that, your fire became holy ground. The very place others said would break you became the altar where heaven marked you. The world saw your losses. Heaven saw your loyalty. The world saw delays. Heaven saw preparation. What others mistook for failure, God called formation. While people questioned your silence, heaven heard your prayers. When you walked away from comfort, from compromise, from quick reward, that's when your name was whispered in heavenly places. That's when you were called chosen. Not because of your comfort, but because of your yes in the middle of pain. So now as the light begins to break through and the weight lifts, don't forget where you were forged. Don't forget what made you who you are. It wasn't the stage, it wasn't the spotlight, it was the shadow. It was the secret place. It was the hard places that gave you depth, and that is why you were chosen. Not in applause, but in affliction. Not in ease, but in endurance. Not when you had it all, but when you had nothing left but God and still said, "Here I am." There is a moment in every chosen life when heaven interrupts the ordinary and says, now. Not tomorrow, not next season, not when everything looks perfect, but now. in the middle of the mess, in the middle of the waiting, in the middle of questions you still don't have answers for. June 22, 2025 is not just a date on the calendar. It is not just another sunrise. It is the moment heaven carved out long ago and wrapped your name around it. A sacred appointment written into time itself, where destiny and obedience collide. Everything you've walked through, every valley and every silent night was leading here. You were not forgotten, you were being positioned. While you felt delayed, you were being prepared. While doors seemed closed, other ones were being built just for you. And now the season has shifted. The wind has changed. You can feel it in your spirit, that gentle trembling, that holy discomfort. It's not fear, it's the trembling of purpose rising up. Because deep within you, you know something is different now. This isn't just another chapter. This is the turning point, the unveiling, the activation. And it's not random. It is orchestrated with divine precision. You didn't miss it. You're not behind. Every tear, every hour of prayer, every moment where you wondered if God still saw you, it was all counted. And this moment, this divine hour, is proof that heaven never forgot. Not for a second. The delay was not a denial. The silence was not abandonment. It was preparation for the weight of what's being released now. You had to be emptied of what was so you could carry what is coming. You had to be broken in places the world couldn't see so that your vessel could carry the glory of what's next. June 22 is not about hype. It is about alignment. It is about walking into a time that was always yours but required maturity, trust, and surrender to access. That is why it felt like nothing was happening, because God was making sure everything was happening in you. You see, the appointed time is not just about circumstances changing. It's about you changing. It's about your spirit rising to meet the moment, your heart being prepared to carry what is weighty, your soul being anchored in truth so that the blessing doesn't destroy you but establishes you. This time has come because you have come, not the old version of you, not the broken, confused, unsure version, but the healed one, the wiser one, the one who can finally see what God was always doing behind the veil. You're not the same as you were last year. And that's why this year had to be different. Because the you that stands today is ready. Not ready because everything is easy, but ready because everything you went through trained your spirit to recognize when heaven is speaking. And right now, heaven is speaking loud and clear. This is your time. There is no more delay. No more wandering. The clouds are parting. The path is clear, 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 the path is clear. The divine time has arrived. Doors will open that you didn't knock on. People will find you who didn't know your name yesterday. Answers will come to questions you've long buried, but not because of chance. Because the King of Heaven called this time holy. He called it appointed, and He called you into it. Not as a visitor, but as a vessel. Not as someone watching others walk in favor, but as someone finally ready to carry it for yourself. You don't have to strive anymore. You don't have to explain, prove, or chase. When it's your appointed time, grace flows, favor follows, and doors yield to your steps. And that's what's happening now. This time has a name written in eternity, and that name is